Hey everyone, so I'm about to show you how to build a complete real estate lead automation system from absolute scratch. We are talking zero to fully automated in one video. Here's what this thing does. Someone fills out a form on your website at 2 a.m. and by the time you wake up, they've been scored, categorized, sent a personalized welcome email, and added to your CRM. Then, over the next few days, they get smart follow-ups based on whether they are buying, selling, or renting. The crazy part, when they reply to those emails, the AI reads their response, figures out if they're ready to buy or want to unsubscribe, and handles everything automatically. Hey, if you're new here, I'm Alex, and I run Loopsera. We build AI systems for businesses to help them save time and money. So yeah, if that sounds like something you need, just hit the link in the description. And if you've been following my AI automation tutorials and feel like you could use some hands-on help, I'm now offering one-on-one coaching. Whether you're just getting started or stuck on something specific, I've got you. Links in the description. Now, before we dive in, here's the thing. Most people who watch these tutorials try to build and get stuck on errors or waste time rebuilding from scratch. That's exactly why I created AI Builders Boardroom. It's my free school community where you get instant access to every workflow from my videos, ready to import. Link is also in the description. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a demo. Let's activate this workflow. And this right here is the CRM. So we'll be filling a form from the website. So this is the Premier Real Estate website. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, you're going to see a form. Let's fill this out. Let's fill the number. So let's select what I'm interested in. So I'm interested in buying property, the location, let's say downtown, a specific property type, apartment. Let's give our budgets. Let's give our timeline, additional information. So where did we hear about them? Let's say Facebook ads, and we prefer email. So we submit this inquiry. Let's go back to n8n. Let's click the executions tab, and you'll see right away that it's running. So it's supposed to log the data into this CRM, and it's already done so. And you'll notice it has filled all the details. Next, it has also scored the lead and gave us a reason. Next, let's test the follow-up feature. So it's supposed to follow up 3 times after the form has been submitted and no reply has been received from the client. So for this, we'll just go ahead and execute this workflow. So it's going to send the first reminder. So it's going to read this CRM, and it's now crafting the reminder. It's going to email me. So as soon as I filled out the form, it actually sent me the first email, a welcome email. So here's the welcome email it sent as soon as I filled out the form. And let's see, here's the follow-up email we've just sent. And after it sends a follow-up email, it's going to update the Google Sheet, the CRM, and it'll mark it. The first follow-up will be marked as sent. Let's go ahead and send the second and third follow-up. So we'll test step again, and you'll see now it will go down this route and send me a second follow-up email. So if you go back to my email, you'll see it sent a second follow-up email. Let's test it again and send the last email. So the third follow-up email. So it sent the last follow-up email, and you can see this is the last follow-up email. Now the next feature is we can either say we are interested, and if you're interested, it's going to email the team. So let's say I'm interested. How do we proceed? So it's running. let's say if it'll send us an email. So you'll notice it's supposed to send an email to the team. So here is the email sent to the team. It's informing us that the hot lead, Alex Safari, is ready to buy. And it's basically telling the team to go ahead with talking to Alex Safari. It's also sent me an acknowledgement email. So, hi Alex, thanks for your interest. A member of our team will reach out shortly. That's it. So let's say we don't want to be sent email updates. So we'll just say, so once we send this, it's going to stop sending this reminder emails. And from this Google Sheet, you'll see the opt-outs will change status to true. Previously, it was false, but it's going to change status to true. And it's also supposed to send me an email. So it's running. Let's see, it's supposed to send me back an email and let's see. So it's okay. So it acknowledged it and said, no problem, we've removed you from our list. So that's it with this workflow. That's every feature we've tested. Now let's go ahead and build this from scratch. So we're starting from a blank canvas. Let's go ahead and rename this to something important or something relevant. Okay, so before we get down to building the workflow, we first need to understand what needs to happen. So think of it this way. Think of it in terms of how you would do it if this automation didn't exist. So we'll just map it out in Figma or any software that's equivalent to Figma. Then we'll open FigJam and yeah, we'll need to rename this. So yeah, so the very first thing we want this workflow to do is the very first step is the lead fills out a form from the website. So we'll say lead fills out a form from website. Yeah, so we need to think. So after the form has been filled, what do we want to happen next? So we'll add another node, and so as soon as a lead fills out a form, we want to send an acknowledgement email. So we want to send acknowledgement email. And once we've sent an acknowledgement email, the next thing that we want to do is now follow up with the lead until they say they are interested. So we're going to send 3 follow up emails. Okay. Until lead is interested. And we need to think of the timing. So maybe we can send the first follow-up after 1 day, second follow-up after 3 days, third follow-up after 1 week. So until lead is interested or opts out. So if the lead doesn't want to receive these follow-up emails. So I think this is pretty much it. So a lead fills out a form. So we need to add a webhook. So from this website, which by the way I built in Cursor. If you are unfamiliar with Cursor, I leave the resources in my school community. So make sure to join to get the resources. And once you do so, you'll just go to community and you'll click YouTube resources and you'll find it here. So while I was building the website, I added a webhook. So when a lead fills out this form, it's supposed to send data to a webhook, and I gave it the URL. And so we'll need to add a webhook. So you'll click this plus button here, or this button here, search for webhook, click on it, and you'll just copy this production URL and use this as the URL the form is going to send data to after the form is filled and submitted. And you need to configure this webhook. And so for my case, what I did is I first changed the path to form submitted, and the HTTP request method is post, and that's it. I didn't add any authentication, and respond is immediately. You'll activate this workflow. So you see, so right now I'm in Casa, and this is where I was building the website from. And you'll see I've copied and pasted the webhook URL here. So this is the webhook URL. So it knows it's supposed to send data to this webhook. And now we want to test. We've already activated the workflow, so let's go ahead and fill this form out. So let's give our name, our email address, our phone number, interest. We'll say we'll first test with buying a property, and then we'll fill out this other stuff. And then submit. Now we'll go back to the workflow, look at past executions, and you'll notice the data has already been sent over once we submitted. So we'll copy this run to the editor, and we'll open the webhook, look at the output, and so this is the output we got. Now we'll need to design now the rest of the workflow. So the trigger is working, and which is this webhook. So the next thing we'll need to do is somehow process the data that's being sent over. So we'll need to add a Google Sheet node. So we'll need to first add it to this CRM. And for that, we'll need a Google Sheet node. It's going to be an append row in Sheet. Select the right credentials and select the right document. Now for the lead ID, it's simply going to be the raw number, and you need to key in this formula. It's a formula in Google Sheet. So if you select this and you paste this here, you'll notice if you hit enter, you'll notice it gives you a number, and this is actually the row number minus 2. So you see it's 4 minus 2, which is 2. So that's why we are using this row number. And you'll notice let me delete this. You notice for the lead ID, it's doing pretty much the same thing. So it's keying this formula, and then it's going to output the number as the ID. Now for the full name, we'll scroll all the way to the body section, and we'll simply drag and drop the full name, email, all this other stuff. So for the source, we'll say website. Status will for the status. So status a new lead, so it's new. Score, we'll just leave blank, so we'll delete this. We'll delete this. The lead category, we'll delete this. This is going to be done by another agent that's going to do lead scoring. We'll need this opt-out. So opt-out is false. For the opt-out, this is what we're going to look at if we want to send the lead a follow-up email. So if it's true, it means the lead has opted out from getting the follow-up emails. So right now we'll set it as the default value is false. So created that, we'll use this expression. Now updated that, they will use the same expression. So double curly brackets, and then now you'll see it's giving us the current date and time. So follow up one, we don't need this, we don't need this, we don't need this. Now we'll execute step to test this. So we'll go back to our Google Sheet and see. So you see it added a new entry. So this is everything it filled out. So now the next thing we need to do is send an acknowledgement email. So for this we'll need an AI agent. So AI agent, and source for prompts we'll need to define below. Now we'll drag and drop the details. So we'll call this acknowledgement AI agent, and now we'll drag and drop the details. So we'll drag and drop, so from the webhook we'll drag and drop these details. So the full name, copy this. We want to tell the AI what this is. So the beauty with this is we've got a preview of what the AI is seeing. So for example, this, it tells us we've labeled it as full name, and this is the full name. We'll do the same thing for the remaining parameters. For example, the email. So we'll copy, we'll paste this. So we're telling the AI that this is the email, and we'll do this for every single bit of it, but I'm going to save time. Let me copy what we had and paste it. So this is what we dragged and dropped. So from this webhook, all these details. And so next we'll need to add a system prompt. So we'll need to add option, system message, and let's delete this. Now we want to tell this AI agent what it's supposed to do with this information that we've fed it. So it needs to know what it needs. So it needs to know what it's supposed to do with this info, and so that's what we are prompting it to do. So I'll just take you through the prompt that I had earlier come up with. Let me paste it here. So this right here was the prompt that I had come up with. So we're telling it it's a friendly and professional real estate assistant, and we're telling it what it's supposed to do. And then here are the guidelines. So not robotic, all this, giving it the current date and time, and also the output format. Now for this output format, since we've also specified the output format, we'll use something called an output parser. So we're going to require a specific output format, and then we are going to connect an output parser, and we're going to connect a structured output parser, and you'll see the JSON example. So since we've specified the output format, we'll just copy this, go to our output parser, and paste it here. And let's go ahead and save this workflow. Remember, at the time of recording this video, n8n doesn't automatically save your progress, so you need to keep on saving it so that you don't lose data. Next let's connect the chat model. So for this we're going to use open router, and if you're familiar with open router, the website is openrouter.ai, and you're going to set up an account with the open router. Make sure you top up credits. So you're going to click on this on this hamburger icon on your top right, and you're going to click on the credits, and you're going to add credits. So you're going to add credits, and you're going to get the an API key. So you're going to go to the keys section and create a new API key, give it a name, set a credit limit. So this is it's a maximum amount you want to spend. So that's what they mean by credit limit. And once you do so, it's going to, so let's say test 5. We are not setting a limit. Then you're going to click create. You're going to copy this API key they just created and go back to n8n. You're going to create new credential, paste your API key here, give it a proper name, and click save. And that's how you set up your Open Router chat model credentials. So next I'm going to select a model. So for this I'm using GPT 4.1 mini. So that's the chat model, and we are going to test it out. So let's click this play button, and you'll see it generated the email subject and the email body. So the next node we'll need to add is the Gmail node. So we'll search Gmail, and the operation is a send a message. And let's create the proper credentials. So who are we sending it to? So we'll need to get the email address from the webhook. So this right here. So we'll drag and drop it here. For the subject, the AI agent generated a subject. So we'll drag and drop it here. For the email body, we'll drag and drop it here. And the email type is HTML. Now, notice we've specified the email type is HTML, but we also need to tell this AI agent that it's supposed to create this email body in HTML format right here. So you'll do that in the system prompt, and you'll notice, so this is the instruction that we've just given it. So it should be written in HTML format. And we are going to test this. So let's click execute step. And it looks like it sent us an email. Let's go to the email. Let's look at let's look at our inbox, and we'll see this is the email it just sent us, and it looks good. Now we want to get rid of this n8n attribution at the bottom, and to do so, we'll go back to the workflow. We'll click on the Gmail node. We'll scroll all the way to the bottom. We'll click add option and select this append n8n attribution. And then you're going to turn this off, and then we can test this again by executing step. And now if you go back to your inbox, check the email it sent you, you'll notice it doesn't have that attribution. Now, we've worked on the first part. So whenever a lead fills out a form from the website, it's adding the lead to the CRM and sending the lead an acknowledgement email. So that part is out of the way. Now the next bit is we need to score the lead. So for that, we'll need another AI agent that will specifically score the lead. So let's save this, and let's add an AI agent. Another AI agent, and so let's hook it up to this webhook, and we can also actually add memory to this acknowledgement AI agent. So we'll add a simple memory and define below. Now for the key, we'll need to add the email address. So this right here, the email address. Now this key is just as a unique, it's like a unique number that tracks specific conversations. So we only want it to track conversations from this email address. So that's why we are using the email address as key. and the context window length, we want it to be like 10, and then hit save. Now let's rename our AI agent. So it's called lead scoring AI agent. And since we've hooked it up to the webhook, you'll notice on the left pane, we've got our input, which is the data from the webhook. So we'll define the source of prompt below, and we'll now need to drag and drop the information. So same way we did with this other, same thing we did with this other acknowledgement acknowledgement AI agent. You're just simply going to drag and drop this info. So we'll copy everything here and go back to this lead scoring agent, paste it here as input, and you'll notice we are good to go. So now we need to add a system prompt. So we'll click add option, select system message, delete what's in here, and let me use the prompt that I used for. So let me go back to the workflow. Let me copy this. Let me copy this, paste it here. Like I said, you can always use any charts. You can use ChatGPT, Claude to generate these prompts. And so we're going to, let's maximize this tab. Let me explain this prompt. So what you're doing here is you're telling what this AI agent is and what it's supposed to do. So it's supposed to score new leads. So, and the score is between 0 to 100, and how it's and this is a lookup table on how it's supposed to categorize the lead. And then we are explaining the input that it's getting, and then here we are specifying the output format. So it's supposed to output the lead score, the lead category, and the reasoning behind the score. Now, since we are requiring a specific output format, we'll turn this on. We'll add an output parser, and we'll give a JSON for the output format. So this is how it looks like. Let's save this workflow. Next, let's add a chart model. We'll also use OpenRouter. And that's good to go. Now, so the next thing left for us to do is test this. So we'll test this. Click on the play button right on top of this node. And let's open and see. So you see it's called the lead. Now we need to add these details to the Google Sheet. So we'll search for a Google Sheet, and we need to update since this row has already been added. We don't want to append another row. We want to update this specific row, this right here. And so what we'll do is so for the Google Sheet node, we'll use an update row in sheet, and let's select the right credentials. Let's select the right document and sheet. Okay. Now let's select the column it's supposed to match on. So it's supposed to match on. The email. So the column to match on is email, and we'll drag and drop the email. Now let me delete this. Let me delete this row. So it's supposed to match on email, and Now, in case you're wondering what we mean by column to match on, it simply means we are telling it which, we're basically telling it how it's supposed to know which row to update. So the column to match on, just the way a human would do it, is let's say you want to update this row. You will look at the email. So from the webhook, you'll go ahead and check the email. So it's so this is the leads email, and then you'll go to Google Sheet. Using this email column, you're going to search for the email, and then now you've got the row. Your next task will be to update this row with all the details. Now we want to update the score, the reason, and the category. Now for that, we now need to, let's delete this. We only need to update you see, we only need to update the score, this column right here, score, score reason, and lead category. And that's what we want to update. So the score, score reason, and the lead category. So assigned agent, we don't need this. Last contacted. Notes, we don't need this. Opt out. Created art, we don't need this. We don't even need last contacted. Actually, we need to update this last contacted column. So last contacted. Now for the let's drag and drop this information. So the lead score, drag and drop it there. The lead category there. The reason behind the score. Now for the last contacted, you're going to select the expressions tab and then give it the current time. We're going to do the same thing for the updated art, since this is a time. Yes, so it's current time. And we'll test this by executing this step. And we'll go back and check the Google Sheet. So it's done updating. Now you see the score, the reason, and the lead category have already been updated. Now the next thing we'll do is you see we've sent the lead an acknowledgement email as soon as they submit the form, and we've scored the lead. Now the next thing is to send reminders. Now for that we'll need a schedule trigger. We need a schedule trigger, and let's open this schedule trigger. Let's configure this trigger, and we want it to run every single day at a specific time. So we'll say at probably 9 a.m. every single day. Let's save this. So every single day it's supposed to check, same way a human would do. So if you're given this job, what you do is every single day at 8 a.m. you'll go to this spreadsheet, and you'll check this. You'll check if a follow-up was sent to them. So we are checking these 3 columns. So follow-up 1, follow-up 2, follow-up 3. If a follow-up hasn't been sent and it's been a day, it's going to send the follow-up email. So you're going to send a follow-up email and mark this as sent. So for that, so we'll need to read the Google Sheet. So we'll select Google Sheets and get rows. Let's rename this. So read CRM and ecom module. Select the right document and sheet. And execute this. And you'll see in the output pane, the output it pulled from the Google Sheet. And we want to check these 3 columns, the follow-up 1, follow-up 2, follow-up 3. Now we'll need to add an if node. So once we read the CRM, we'll need to add an if node. So an if node. So what this if node does, it checks if the first follow-up was sent, second follow-up was sent, third follow-up was sent. So the first thing it's supposed to do, so in order to send the first follow-up, it means these 3 columns are empty. And so that's what we are checking with this if node. So we are checking if the column follow-up 1, if follow-up 1 is empty, if follow-up 2, this second column is also empty, and also the third column, follow-up 3, if it's empty. Now we can execute this step, and you'll see it goes down this true branch. Now, so we'll rename this to something relevant. So if no reminder has been sent, so if no reminder has been sent, and so if no reminder has been sent, we'll need the AI agent to send a reminder. So the next node we are going to add is the AI agent node. So AI agent. So we'll search for AI agents. Select AI agent. Now we need to set this up. Let's name this to something relevant. So fast follow-up AI agent. And source for prompt will define below. And the prompt is info we are getting from this node right here when we read the CRM. And so we'll drag and drop all these details here. So we'll start with the full name, and make sure we label this just so the AI knows what this is. So it knows that Alex Safari is the full name. You do the same for the email, phone number, all these details. Let me save time. Let me copy and paste what we had before. So copy this, go back, paste it here, and now we've drag and dropped every detail. So this is everything I've dragged and dropped, and we'll also need to add the system message. So telling this AI what it's supposed to do with this information we've fed it. And let's delete this. I'll copy and paste the prompt that I had. So copy, I'll paste it here. So let me explain this prompt. So we are telling it it's a real estate follow-up assistant, and the job is to write a single friendly follow-up message based on the leads type. And you can see here we're giving it the tone it's supposed to use and the messaging strategy. So the first follow-up, so if it's a buyer, the first follow-up is supposed to offer 2 to 3 properties within their location and budget. Second follow-up is ask if they want to schedule a viewing. Then the third follow-up is share helpful tips or checklist for buyers. And this is for the other types of leads. And that's it. And so we've also given it the current date and the output format it's supposed to spit out. And since we are requiring a specific output format, we will turn this on, add an output parser, and here we'll give the JSON for the output format, and we need to add a chart model. So open router, and we'll also need to add memory. So we'll add simple memory, And here session ID will define below, and it's going to be the email address. Now for the context window, it's going to be 10. And we can test this by clicking this play button right on top of this AI agent. And you'll see on the right, the output has been, this is the output, it's spit out. Next, we'll need to add a Gmail node. So Gmail node, and the operation is send a message. Select the right credential. Now we'll need to specify the email address to send the email to. This will get it from this read CRM node, and we'll drag and drop the email address here. Now for the subject, we'll get it from the AI agent. So the email subject and the email body. Remember, we are sending the email in HTML format, and we also specified it in the AI agent's prompt right here. This right here. And we'll need to do the same for the first reminder, second reminder, third reminder. So let's test this. Let's send an email, and it sent me an email. We can go to my inbox, open the email it just sent us. And so this is the email it sent. Let's remove this attribution. So go back to the workflow, scroll all the way to the bottom, add option, append n8n attribution, turn this off. And so they've sent the first reminder. Now we need to update the Google Sheets. So we need to mark this first follow-up as sent. So we'll need to add another node, a Google Sheet node, and we'll use the update row in sheet. So let's name this to something relevant. So mark, let's call it mark first reminder as sent, and choose the right credentials, select the right document and sheet, and select the column to match on, so it's email. So we'll drag and drop the email. Actually, we can also use the row number. So let's select the row number. So row number, drag and drop it here. And now we'll need to mark the first follow-up as sent, and that's everything we need. That's everything we need. Updated at, we'll need to give it the current date and time. Delete all this other stuff. Notes. Last contacted is also the current date, so we'll click expression and select now. Delete all these other columns because we don't need them. So this is everything we need to do in the Google Sheet, so we can execute step. You can see it's updated the row. We can go to Google Sheet. You'll see it's marked the first follow-up as sent. Okay, so now we've set up the first reminder flow. To save time, we can just copy this, the if node, the AI agent, copy it for the second reminder, paste it into the workflow, hook it up to the read CRM. Now rename this if node. So if first reminder has been sent. So if the first reminder has been sent, it means the first follow-up is not going to be empty, but the other two are going to be empty. So this will change it to is not empty, and the other two are empty. And we'll test this. So it went down the false branch. Let's see. So the first follow-up is empty, second is empty, third is empty. So we need to test it. We need to rerun this read CRM so that it reads the latest data from this Google Sheet. Okay, let's test this if node again. Now it's going to go down this true branch. Let's rename this AI agent to second follow-up AI agent. Hit enter. And let's test this. So it's supposed to send the second follow-up. And this is the second follow-up it just sent. It just generated. Let's go to the send message tool. Sorry, send message node. Let's execute this. It's supposed to send me another email. It sent me another email. Let me check my inbox. So this is my inbox. So this is the reminder, first reminder it sent. Yeah. So yeah, so this, sorry, this is the second reminder it sent. Second reminder it sent. This is the second one. And let's go back to the n8n workflow. Next, let's test this mark first reminder, but we need to rename it to mark second reminder as sent. So let's open this node and we'll rename it to mark second reminder as sent, and we'll test this. No, but we need to, this time around we are only updating the follow-up 2. So we'll add column follow-up 2 and we'll mark it as sent, and we'll test this. So we've clicked on execute step. Let's go to our Google Sheet. It's supposed to have updated the, yes, so it's updated the follow-up 2 column. And we're done with the second follow-up flow. We need to do the same for the third. So we'll change this if to second, if second reminder has been sent. Now, if the second reminder has been sent, it means follow-up 1 is not empty, follow-up 2 is not empty. The only empty column is follow-up 3. So in the if node, we'll say it's not, the first is not empty, so this will change it to not empty. Only the last column is empty, the last follow-up column. And we've already, so we'll test this. You see, it's still reading the old data, so let's rerun this node. And let's run this. Let's look at the data it's pulling. Yeah, it's still reading the old data. Okay, let's confirm if this is the right data. Yes, so now we've got the right data. Let's test this workflow. So it's now going down the true branch. Let's rename this AI agent to the third follow-up AI agent. So third follow-up AI agent. And we'll execute step. And next we'll test this send message. So it's gonna send me an email. Let me go back to my inbox. And this is the email it sent. So tips, which means it's working fine. Let's go back to the workflow. Let's open the Google Sheet tool. Let's change this to third reminder. And this time round, we are going to mark follow-up 3 column as sent. So follow-up 3, we are going to mark it as sent. And we'll test this by clicking execute step. And we'll go to our Google Sheet and we'll see it updated it. So we are done with the follow-up flow. So this is the follow-up flow. Next, we'll need to work on the flow which acknowledges emails from the lead asking for them to be opted out of the reminder emails, or it needs to also identify interests from the lead. And so we'll need a Gmail trigger. So the trigger is a Gmail trigger on message received, and it's ecom module. And let's configure this node properly. So we'll turn off simplify. We don't want to use simplify. That's it. Let's click save. Now let's test this by sending an email. So where is it? So this is the last email it sent me. Let me reply. Let me say, please stop sending these emails, and hit send. Let's go back to the workflow. We are currently in the executions tab, so we are looking at previous runs. This is the latest run. Let's click on it. Let's confirm if the Gmail trigger pulled any data, and you can see it pulled data. So we'll copy this to editor. So in your top right corner, you'll see copy to editor, and we'll save this workflow. Now we need to continue building it. So it needs an AI agent. And so when we get an email, we need to identify who's emailing us. So we need to check this CRM and see, okay, so we received an email from this email address. I'm going to check this. So this email address exists in the CRM, and we need to get all details. So we need to read what this lead wanted to do. So buying, which type of property the lead wanted to buy, and all these details. So we'll add a Google Sheet node, and we're going to select get rows in sheet. Select the right credential, select the right document and sheet. And we can test. So we can click execute tab, and you can see it's pulling the right data. And so this, let's rename this to something relevant. So let's say read CRM. And we'll need to add a filter. So we don't want it to pull all data from the CRM, because as this CRM grows, it's going to be a lot of data. We only want it to pull data that's specifically related to the lead with this email address. So we only want it to pull this row. And so to pull that row, we'll need to add a filter. So we'll click add filter, select the email column, and now we'll drag and drop the email from the trigger, from the Gmail trigger. So with this right here, we'll drag and drop it here, and then we'll test this again. Now it only pulls this row. Next, we'll need to add an AI agent. So we'll click this plus button here, select AI agent, and source for prompt will define below. Now we'll need to feed this AI the email we've received from the lead, and also the lead's information. So on your left pane, you'll see the, so we'll drag and drop the subject, the email subject, and you'll see this is already labeled, so there's no need to label it as subject. And the email body, so the email body is the text, so we'll drag and drop it here. Now you see this is not labeled, so we need to label it as the email body. And next we'll also need to we'll also need to feed the sender's email address, and it's this right here. So we have information on the email that was just sent. Now we need to add the lead's information. And to save time, I'll just copy and paste what we had here. So paste it. And so this is the leads information, and we are getting it from this read CRM, the Google Sheet node. So we are dragging and dropping the full name, giving it a label, email, phone number, and all these other columns. So on your right, you'll see a preview. So this is the data it pulled from the Google Sheet node, this read CRM1 node. I'm talking about this node right here. So next, we've added the inputs. We need to add the system message, and we'll need to, so I'll copy and paste what I had. So copy everything here and paste it. Then we're going to select the expression tab. We're going to maximize this. Now we're telling it that it's an AI assistant managing replies for real estate and what it's supposed to do. So it's receiving incoming emails from leads and reference their full profile. And here is some important information. So the lead details, the name, budget, do not come from the email itself. So we're telling it that's not information we've received from the email. It's information we've pulled from the CRM. So that's what we have written here. And then we've given it the responsibilities. So it's supposed to answer FAQs. It's supposed to handle opt-outs. It's supposed to also handle interests and engagement. And then here's the fallback behavior and the message guidelines. So let's rename this to FAQs AI agent. And that's it. We need to add the chat model. So chat model. So let's zoom in. The chat model. We're also going to use OpenRouter. OpenRouter, we're going to use 4.1 mini, but we want to use a more advanced language model. So we'll go with GPT-5 mini. GPT-5 mini. Save this. Let's add memory. So we'll add simple memory, and we'll use the session ID as the email address. So we'll drag and drop the email address here, and we'll add the context window length. And now we need two tools. We'll need, so if a lead wants to opt out from the update emails, it needs to update the Google Sheet. So we'll add a Google Sheet node. So Google Sheet, select the right credentials. Now under the operation, we are going to select update row, and then select the right document and sheet. And we're going to select the column to match with. It's going to be the row number, and we'll drag and drop the row number here. And the only thing we need it to do is set where is it, the opt-out. It's going to set it to true, and the update date, updated at, giving it the current time, and then last contacted now. So we'll delete all these other columns because we don't need them. So we'll only be left with these four. So the row number, the last contacted, the opt-out, and the update. Next, after it's updated the Google Sheet, it's supposed to email. It can email either. It's supposed to email either the team or the lead. So we'll need a Gmail tool. Now we'll need to give it the email address to send the email to. So this is the lead's email address. For the subject, we'll click this button here, and what this means is the AI will figure out what to write in the subject parameter, and we'll click this for the message. Also, the AI will figure out this, what to write in the message, and that's it. So we need to give this tool a better name, a more relevant name. And so we'll rename this to send a message in Gmail to the lead. And we need to add another Gmail tool. So Gmail, select the right credentials. Now this time around it's supposed to send to the team. So we'll just hard code the team's email address. And the subject, we'll leave it to the AI as well as the message. And let's rename this to something relevant. So to team. It's nice. So we've set up our FAQs AI agent. Now it's time for us to test. So let's test this AI agent. Let's say if it updates the row and sends an email to the lead. So it's updating. Let's go to our Google Sheet. And you see opt-out has been updated to true, which means it's working. And it's sent the lead an email. Let me go to my inbox. And let's see. So it's saying, hi Alex, no problem. We've removed you from our list. Now, but we want this to be a reply, not a new email. So we don't want it to create a new email thread. We want it to reply to this thread right here so that it makes more sense. So we'll go back to n8n. We are going to set the operation to reply, and you'll see it requires us to drag and drop the message ID. So we'll click on the mapping tab, scroll all the way, and the message ID will get it from the Gmail trigger, and it's this right here. So we'll drag and drop it here, and let's go back to from AI tab. Let's copy this, and also let's copy this. So let's test this. So the message we had copied is this right here, and click execute step. And let's go back to our email. Let's look at the inbox. You'll see now it's replying directly in this thread. The next thing you're going to do is test if it can recognize a lead that's ready to go ahead. So let's reply. Let's say I'm interested. How do I move forward? Let's send this. Let's go back to n8n. Let's save this. We need to wait for a minute. So it's running. Since we've already set up this workflow, I think it's gonna reply automatically. Yeah, so it's done with that run. Let's click that run to open it. Let's see how it went about it. Yeah, so it sent the team an email. So this is the email it sent to the team, which means it's working fine. And it also sent the lead an email. So thanks for your interest. Okay, so it's working fine. And this is all there is with this workflow. Like I said, I've got a team that builds custom AI solutions just like this. So hit the link in the description if you want one for your business. And don't forget to like if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment if you've got a question. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe.